game is called Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. It's an older game, one I've played a lot in the past. Um, the last time I played it was a couple of years ago. And again, not the world's best gamer, but I do enjoy playing and learning how this process goes here. I did skip a lot of exposition at the beginning of the game to get to the location that I'm at right now, so you don't have to sit and watch that. I will tell you there's a lot of dialogue in this. I have those set on a rapid speed, and I will go through them pretty quickly for my purposes because, you know, the game will go really slow. Some things are important to see and some are not quite so much. So this is our lead character, main character, Ike. He is a member of a mercenary family. His father is the leader, and we're going to meet some additional characters here momentarily. But I have been asked, I can look around with my thing, to fight one of my practice my team members for practice, I should say. And this is as close as I can get to him. The blue areas are my areas I can move to. And if I wanted to, I could check and see what I had here as far as weapons. Down below the middle line there would be items that I had in my inventory. Maybe to heal or give me some kind of perk or something. Since I can't get closer, I'm going to hit wait. And it'll go to the enemy phase. And this is Boyd and them having their little snarky repartee between each other. Up at the top, we have waiting right above this area is Commander Grail. He is the leader of the company and Ike's father. And this is Mist, Ike's sister. And they are watching this battle. So I'm going to come up and I've got this lovely trainer sword. You can see it brought up a statistics menu with the attack and all that different things and the range of the weapon, which is 1 square, which is why I couldn't hit him before. This is not a ranged weapon like a bow or a hand axe that you could throw. Just above that, you're going to see what they call the weapons triangle. And kind of gives you an idea, and I often forget about this and just pay attention to it on a case-by-case basis as I play the game. Kind of let's compare it to rock, paper, scissors in a way as to what weapon has an advantage over the other. So on the top of that triangle on the right above, again, the statistics for Ike's weapon, it shows swords at the top, and you'll see an arrow pointing down to the right towards the axe. Swords have the advantage over the axe. And then from the axe to the spear, the axe has the advantage over the spear. And then you see from the spear going to this back to the sword as far as who has what. You're going to see that as the game plays out, and they have dialogue that includes it. But since it popped up, I'm showing it to you. So I'm going to attack my buddy here that we're practicing with, and his sister, always rooting for him. One wonders where I got my love of crazy hair colors. I would say it started before this game, but this game certainly encourages me with some of the wild hair colors that I've had. And he is down. Again, practice round. And now we're going to have Boyd take off and he's going to go watch. And Commander Grail is going to come out and he is going to fight Ike. But not before Mist comes out and gives Ike a vulnerary. Vulneraries are healing. They are limited to the amount of XP that you can regain with their use. So you can see right now Ike is at an 11. So I can take a chance and not heal myself, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stay right where I am, and I'm going to use that to heal myself. You'll see that I have 11 of 19. I use that vulnerary, and it takes me back to full power, and then it switches to the quote-unquote enemy phase with Commander Grail, who comes over and is now going to attack his son for practice. And you gain your experience points. So it's back to my turn. I have 13 of 19. He has 13 of 22. Again, it's a question, do I take the risk and heal myself or not? If I did this when I wasn't streaming it at the moment, I would probably be just fine. The way my luck has been running lately is that I will probably attack him and he will kill me. In the upper left, you can see, I forgot to mention, there is a menu that tells you the type of terrain you're on and any terrain effects that might be an advantage or disadvantage to your character. It tells you your goal, which is defeat the boss, which is Ike's dad, Commander Grail, and the turn that you are on currently. And we'll talk more about that as the game goes on. So I'm going to go ahead and take a risk, and I'm going to attack him and see what happens. Now, if he were to have attacked me twice, obviously I would have been in big duty. He's going to attack me, and luckily I had 1 hit point remaining, so that worked out okay. And then I am going to level up. I always hope for good statistics leveling up. I mean, you always want HP and strength for a character like Ike, primarily. Of course, you want other things too, but it is a random way that they are leveled up like that. So whatever you get is what you get, and you get additional items along the way that can help you change certain statistics or give your character advantages with his or her stats. So I'm trying to get through some of this dialogue because there is quite a bit of it. It is the downside to streaming this game, and gives me a place to save. You can see above, those are my 2 completed games. One I completed on normal difficulty. One I completed on the highest difficulty setting. I never ever play on a low difficulty setting. I at least play the normal level. The sequel to this game is a little bit different when it comes to that. I'm just going to bypass that because there's no real information. It's just a long shot coming into this building. And they're talking about his first day and all of this good stuff. Titania is the second in command, really. She is very OP at the beginning of the game. She is the most OP character that we have. We also have Oscar and Boyd, both with the green hair over on the right. Oscar, that is on the screen right now, he is a mounted unit on his horse, as well as Titania is. And down to the lower right, we have Mist and Rolf. Rolf is the brother of Boyd and Oscar. So they're just talking about what we're going to do, and Boyd is a character that he can become a very good character to play with, as well as Oscar. But Boyd in particular, his dialogue, you see he comes off as very cocky. So we're leaving the kids behind, and we're going off on a mission to this little village here. I'm gonna skip through that part because it's just no point to it. Now, this is where Titania and the group are going to discuss weapons. So I'm just going to take a moment. This reiterates the triangle that I talked about. Um, so it says the weapon you use determines who has the upper hand in a fight. Um, she says the axe that she has does well against lances, but not so much against swords. And then Oscar chimes in that his lance is great against swords, but not against axes. And then to complete this triangle, as we discussed earlier, the sword is strong against axes, weak against lances. Um, so it reminds you of that before you start. And for Ike, he just reiterates sword of axes because the sword is Ike's weapon. So Titania is reminding them that we should visit the locals. So we're going to do a couple of different things here. It's really personal preference. I just want to show you one thing here. We can come to the unit menu. Right now we only have 4 choices. Later we will have many more choices. It gives you just a basic rundown on the stats, and then you can look at more detail as to that character. What we've got here is 2 mounted units. One of the really cool things about mounted units is what they can do that other characters cannot. And you want to be kind of careful about how you move these characters around because you sometimes get extra moves. So I've moved her to that side of him, and my little battle menu pops up, and it shows that her steel axe is going to do 2 times damage to his iron axe for this bandit. So I'm going to go ahead and let her attack him. Titania, or some people say Titania. I just like Titania better. Very OP. It's hard to use her at the beginning because she is so strong and so powerful, and you want to let your other characters have a chance to get in the game and get some experience, so to speak. Now you can see here Oscar's lance is at a disadvantage here, so I don't have to put in there. I could look and see what one of my other characters, I can't make it there. Boyd can. So let's see what Boyd has. So this is pretty much a level playing field because they have the same weapon. So I'm going to let Boyd go ahead and attack. And he missed. Good deal. And then I'm going to let Oscar visit instead of attacking because I want to show you something. So I'm going to skip through. The villagers are happy that they came. We have gotten a steel sword. And I'm going to move him over to here. And that is the nice thing about mounted units is they get to finish the rest of their movement if you didn't use it all the first time they went around. Now, Ike, as I said before, can't get over there. I don't have a ranged weapon to attack this guy. I'm going to move him here, and I'm going to trade with Oscar. Oscar cannot use a steel sword, but Ike can. And because I can, I'm going to give him a couple of my other things to hold on to. And then I'm going to equip my steel sword because it is stronger than the other ones. And if I wanted to, I could shove. If I still had movements that I could make, or I wanted to get to somebody else, I could shove Boyd out of the way, or whoever out of the way, but I don't need to do that right now. So I'm just going to hit wait. Now, this guy's going to do some talking. He is the so-called boss for this village, and this guy's going to do some damage here. As many times as I've played this game in the past, I have never been able to save that house. I do believe it is designed to not be savable by your characters. Oh, this is good. I'm glad that he attacked Oscar and not Titania because Oscar needs the XP. Um, and I'll talk about that more here in a minute. So, I have different choices that I can make here. Um, I've got two people I need to take care of. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to say attack. Now you can see that, the guy has less HP. And I'm not really worried about this because I know I can kill him with one swipe of my sword, so to speak. And then I will turn gray, meaning his movement has been completed. I've got this guy with 1 HP. I'm going to go ahead and attack him and get rid of him. There are perks later that will let them pick up the rest of their movement. I don't have one of them right now. I'm going to come over here and visit and sing Help Our Village. And I get a seraph robe. And as you can see, I only have a couple spaces of movement left, so I'm just going to move over here and I'm going to wait. Now, a neat little trick. Titania, as I said, she's overpowered. I want her in this battle, but I don't necessarily want her to steal all the HP from everybody else, because they need it more than she does at this moment. So I'm going to come in here and I am going to unequip her sword. So basically, while she's waiting, if anybody attacks her, she can't attack back, which leaves those enemies available for the people who need that fighting XP to come after them. So let's see how far Boyd can go. Boyd can come to here. He can't quite get to our enemy fellow. He's got good HP, so we'll just wait for him for now. Ike, we can get him up here. If you notice on the upper left, we were talking earlier about the little menu, does say the plane, basically flat, right? And any terrain advantages or disadvantages based on the terrain that you are battling on. The objective of this is to seize this glowy red spot that the bad guy, Zoana, is standing on. And it says turn 3 that we are currently on. Some battles will say, hey, you need to claim this spot or defeat a boss by turn 12 or whatever. So, just good information to have. And as I said before, it's nice to see, the characters that need it gain some skills. And I'm going to let Oscar attack him. Sometimes you have to ignore the weapons triangle unless your character is in grave danger, so to speak. Now I can move him over and out of the way. Now, I haven't really decided where I want to move him. I think I'll move him to here right now. He's still got decent XP. And then I'm going to move her over here. Basically, since there's no movement square because of this house, this guy would have to go all the way around the building to get to him, and everybody else has to come across the field to get to him. But right now, like I said, I'm trying to save this so some of these other people can get the XP they need to help me battle better in the future. Alright, he's going to attack her now. She did take 2 points. Not a big deal. Notice she didn't hit back because no weapon. So she is still engaged in this battle. Ike is low on hit points right now. I'm going to come up and I am going to attack this guy. He's got 8 points. He's in an advantage, hopefully. Oh, and Boyd misses. Swing and a miss. Ike, I normally would not take too far away because he's likely to follow me, but I'm going to come over here and use a vulnerary so Ike doesn't die. You can see it didn't fully heal him, but it did do a pretty decent job. Now, to point out, because I put Titania here, I cannot get to him with Oscar. So Titania, I'm going to go ahead and, how many points did he have? He has 8. I'm going to go ahead and move over here. This guy has 8 points. I'm going to attack, equip my axe, and I'm just going to take this guy out. Ooh, wow, that's rare. Titania rarely misses. The person has to be very fast usually for her to miss. And I have now acquired his sword. So I've got this guy, nobody over there, right? And I've checked in these buildings. I've just got this guy left. And I'm going to take a chance that Oscar can take him out. Even though I'm at the disadvantage, he has low XP. And we did take him out. So go Oscar. So I'm going to bring Oscar over here so he is closer to the rest of the team. That gentleman there will not move off of that space. So it's going to seem kind of silly. How many points? He doesn't have a lot of points. And what is this? He's got an iron axe. And that's the only weapon he has. So I can safely put Ike here. Don't want to risk killing him just yet. I'm gonna use Oscar because I can finish his movement and get out of the way. Some other options you probably saw come up on the menu that when I need to use them, I'll kind of explain them a little bit more. So he's given our Oscar a good hit over here, and he is out of the way. We're down to 22. Gonna go up to Titania. Gonna let her have a hit or two. See, she's fast. And so I've gone ahead. I could have used Boyd to do that, but I didn't. Move out of the way. And in order to clear the map, I need to put Ike here. So Boyd, I can just go ahead and say wait. And now I can take Ike here. It gives me C's and clear map. And I am done with that particular round. We're going to have some dialogue. Like when you start out, he has a what's praising him at? He has a little bit of an inferiority complex, I think, as far as his abilities and his skill, and everyone's, kind of telling him, hey, you're good, you can do this, you're with the group and everything else. And they want to go home. And they want to eat. It's time to save my game. And this little medallion here comes up with chapter 2 called The Rescue. These first ones are all learning. We have another character coming up. This depends on your personal opinion on how you pronounce it. I've heard it mostly pronounced as Rez. He's a cleric. And he's talking to Titania. Apparently he has been sick and she's a little worried about him. I prefer to call him Reese instead of Rez. That's just my personal preference, just like I like to say Titania, not Titania, depending on what's going on. I have another member of my family who plays this game a lot more than I do and pronounces a lot of the names different than I do here or in real life. And Now, she has just read the letter and saying, take this letter and get ready because something bad has happened. Um, and we're about to find out what that bad thing is, and it is the fact that our two children, Miss and Rolf, have been kidnapped by members of the bad guy party that we just defeated. They've been taken by bandits. Now, the missing boy, Rolf, is the brother of the two on the right, Boyd and Oscar. And as I said earlier, Mist is Ike's sister. So, basically, I want retribution. I can't talk today, apparently. Ike, always impulsive, wants to run off. He does not want to wait for strategy or battle. He wants to take off and go save his sister and whoever else would be there, in this case, Rolf. Now they're lost as far as to where they're supposed to go because he didn't wait. They're going to argue a little bit about it. And they got to figure out where they're going. So, Bandit Stronghold. And that's the direction. So we've got to go. So, again, quick overview shot. I'm just going to skip that. Now, a couple things I haven't really shown you. Well, first, it says in order to clear this map in the upper left, I need to rout the enemy. Therefore, kill them all and get rid of them. That does not give me a turn limit that I need to do this in. It's just saying what turn I am currently on. Sometimes you'll defend something for a certain number of turns. It just changes as the game goes on. So, I want to show you something here. So I'm going to click on this bandit that's standing here. And what I've done by selecting him with my controller is I've shown his area of possible movement. Now, these areas here are on a hill. Technically, like up in these areas, only something that could fly could go in these areas. I like to check the movement of my enemies that are closest to me to help me make decisions when I am fighting. Again, not a pro gamer, but this is how I do it. And one of the reasons I do it is I feel fairly good. You can see these guys have all regenerated their health while we were between battles. Is I have my friend Reese here, and because he's a cleric, he does not currently have the ability to have any defensive spells or anything like that. He is solely able to heal at this moment. So we need to keep him protected because if anybody hits him, he will probably not last very long. So I'm going to take Oscar up here. And I have an advantage over this guy based on weapons. So I'm going to go ahead and attack him. Luckily, he missed me. And then, like before, I have the ability to move and complete my range there. Do this a little bit different than I did the other day. No, I can't because I can't get to him. So I'm going to take Ike up here, attack him, and take him out. And you'll see his area is going to disappear now that he is gone, and I've collected a vulnerary from him. So, yay for healing powers. Ike didn't take any damage. Oscar didn't take any damage. The only one right now who is in danger is our friend Reese. I'm going to put Boyd up here. This could be a little risky, but I'm going to go ahead and let... Actually, thought I saw something else. So I'm gonna let Boyd attack him. They both have the same weapon. Not tons of damage. And then I have the option to move him. He has an iron axe, he has a sword, he has an iron axe, and they don't have anything ranged. So I could leave him here in safety because he's a space away and no one has a ranged weapon to hit him from the side. So I'm just going to say wait. It's going to give us a little cutscene over here to what's going on in the building with the kids. Rolf is having a nervous breakdown. He's scared. Kind of the opposite of what you'd normally expect. Now we have the enemy turn. And hopefully Boyd doesn't take too hard of hits before I can get my other players over there. That's why I said it was a little risky putting him up there by himself. But hey, look, he got strength and some HP when he leveled up. Okay. And he can't reach him, so that's very, very fortunate for me. Ike didn't take any damage, so I can say wait. Let's see. Again, looking to see, so I can bring Boyd here and say wait. I can let Reese heal him. Now, right now, he just has a heal staff. That will take him up all the way. As they gain HP, obviously it's going to take more than that to heal some of the damage done to our characters. Gonna go here, and I'm going to wait and let them come to me for a moment, or they can run away. You never know what they're gonna do, because, you know, they're AI, so... And here's Titania coming in, being annoyed that they disobeyed her orders, but she is joining the fray. Let's see. And everybody is pretty good on that. He's got 24, he's got 10. So I will let him come up here and hopefully take this guy out, but he missed. Got him on the second try. So we have that. And now we have this gentleman. Aika's gonna attack Mr. Bandit. Now he's down to 10. Don't have an advantage here, but he's only got 10 points. Finish his movement up to here. And Titania, I'm going to unequip her again for the same reason I did before. There's not a lot of people here. And we've got 23 and 15, so we can let him come over and do some healing. Get more experience points for our healer. So eventually he can do something. Now that character did something kind of interesting that I haven't talked about yet. This bush here is not like the others. Sometimes you'll see several of these in a location. Here's one as well. Those bushes, if you stand in them long enough, you will gradually regain small amounts of XP while you're standing there. he is probably just there because that's where the computer just said, hey, let's just go stand here. Um, so I'm going to come down, and ideally I'd like to have Ike up there because, again, being sort of the most important character in the game, you know, you kind of want to get him involved. And the way I'm going to do this, if I do it without screwing things up too bad, so I'm going to kind of make a wall with my characters. I'm gonna let him heal again. And then Boyd gets to take his turn. And then I am going to put Boyd here. So I will wait. And as you can see, the enemy has their turn, and you get to see he did gain a whole 1 XP. Sometimes it's not a big deal. Sometimes it is a very big deal. He only has 4. Can I get him? I cannot get him to there. But I can get Oscar there and let him take him out. And he's gonna level up. Lance Knight level 4. Got some defense and some strength, so that's good. Gonna finish his movement out, bringing him closer since he does not have a loss of HP. I'm gonna bring Ike up forward as well. See how far I can bring Boyd. And that is a reminder timer that I have going off. I'm going to wait here. And I'm just gonna leave her here. This is gonna sort of make a barricade. They don't have enough movement that they can get to him over here. And then, once I finish this section, I will probably take a break and come back and play a little bit more because I do have some stuff I have to do, and my little alarm going off in the background. So, let the enemy finish their movement and then see what we've got. Alright, now it's my/our turn. So he has 10, he has 4, and he's the big baddie guy. He still has all his, so. I wish I could get Ike up there, but I can't get Ike all the way there, so I will settle for this. Okay, and Boyd will attack him. He's taken out that gentleman. And he's gained an axe, which is nice. I don't know if he can use it yet, but we'll have to check afterwards. Or on his next turn if we get around to that turn. He's got a few spots that he could be healed. Again, just for the XP. And yes, I realize I'm using my staff, you know, to heal. I currently have 1. As you can see, she has no weapon equipped still. I'm going to go ahead and let her come up here and attack. And you can see what her damage is, 19 times 2. So we'll see what happens here. And go back and forth. I hit her for a couple points, but again, she's like Superwoman character here, so she does not have any issues. She easily removes him from her thing, and we're going to have another scene where they're talking about they did it, but she's mad because they didn't follow orders, blah 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 blah, and they hear some screaming, and they find Mist and Rolf with one bandit remaining, and they all have come to help. His brothers are there to save him, but you know, Boyd, always the comforting up person. um, so they just go back and forth. Now, I don't know if you can see it. I would not normally tell you, but you can see it. Up off to the right, there is a red-shaped or red-haired person carrying what looks to be a bow. Just kind of standing there. If you couldn't see him, I would not have mentioned that he was there. So he wants them to put all their weapons down. And that is indeed what happens. And I love how he says, dang. And he still plans to kill Rolf, which we knew was probably going to be the case because, you know, bad guys. And he has just taken an arrow. Rolf is fainting, but he's perfectly fine. So we're going to find out here momentarily more about our friend. And it is Sheenon, the archer and sniper, and Gatry. Great characters to have in the game. Sheenon is a character that some people don't really care for too much. That's a storyline for another time. I happen to like his character. Gatry is always talking about food, and he's a knight, and he does not have a whole lot of movement available to him because his armor and all that stuff weighs him down. And of course, she knew he was going to save her, and all this goody goody stuff. So, try to get through here, and I can save. And I've gone through that. And I have been hired by a town. My company has been hired to get rid of these pirates that are devastating the town. So I'm going to leave everything right here. And I will pick up with this again in a little bit. But this is part one, my introduction to one of my all-time favorite games, Fire Emblem.